I worked super hard, especially on The Shy, even though that's not really my genre, but I had worked super hard. I was praying. I was like, Lord, I'm going to be living in Chicago. And I didn't get it. That was like the first time I'd ever experienced like doubt. Because I was like, wow, like I worked so hard, like for what? Like, and I remember being 10. Me, my mom, and my little sister, we're eating out of our trunk. We living in a room.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, congratulations is on hand. Your single was #1 on UK iTunes as well.
Yes, sir.
Congrats, man. How you feeling about that, man?
Thank you. It's a really beautiful thing. I'm super grateful to God and to the fans just for this opportunity and to be able to, you know what I'm saying, break my music and so people can hear it and interpret it however they desire. So it's super amazing.
But 6 years old, bro, is where you made like your start on America's Got Talent. Like, where did you get the confidence from at such a young age?
You know what it is? I think everyone is kind of born with confidence, and then the things we experience through life kind of tear us down a little bit. Like, I think as a baby, we all think, oh, we can do this, we're invincible, yada, yada. And then slowly as you go through life, you realize, oh, I can't, or da-da-da-da.
Yeah. And
I think for people, the best thing to do is kind of keep that youthful mentality and keep the idea of, well, I can accomplish anything I set my mind to. Why not? As you get older, it should just be, well, if I know I have to put in the work to make sure that that's possible. But at 6 years old, I wasn't doing anything else other than singing and dancing and stuff. My mom always had me in classes. I was in church singing on the weekends.
Okay.
So I was doing performance things on the weekends, like winning little contests and festivals and stuff. So by the time I got to America's Got Talent, I didn't even realize that it was nationally televised and all this other stuff. It wasn't until they came to my school.
Yeah.
They came and filmed me at my school, like before I went and did the big one in Vegas and all that, and they got more info on me and my family. And I was like, why are they at my school? Like, but they was just trying to capture my early life. And I was like, okay, well, this is something. That's when I kind of realized it was a bigger deal than anything else because they were filming me and stuff. I'm like, what is going on? Like, they got the camera on me. But everything else before that, it kind of felt like the same thing. Just go and perform and do your thing and talk to your mom after. I'd be like, Mama, how did I do? Whoopty whoop. And I did the same thing on AGT. So it just kind of felt like another day at the office.
Like, I know, like, what you're saying is that you're having the confidence at such a young age. You're not having the fear. But was there ever, like, a moment where you're like, wow, if this goes well, this could change my life? Or was it just like, do you know what, let me just do what I like doing, whatever happens.
Yeah, it never felt like that. It never felt like I was doing something life-changing, like, ever. Because even, I remember when I booked, it's a popular show in America called Bubble Guppies. And I was on the voiceover show, and I booked it at like 7 or 8 or however old I was. And I did like the final 2 or 3 seasons of that show. And at the time, my mom was very happy for me. Like, I got my first show in LA. I was in LA for like 3-4 months. She was like, good job. And for me, I was like, I didn't really process it as being like, now as I look back, I'm like, I was 7 or 8 and I did like 3 or 4 different voiceover projects. Like, that was pretty decent. Like, but at the time I was just like, okay, like they had a free cereal bar. I get to see pictures of SpongeBob, you know, like this. It wasn't ever that big of a deal. But I mean, to me, now I can look back and I'm like, wow, I thank God those blessings were huge and amazing. But at the time, it didn't really occur to me what I was doing.
Yeah, man. Do you ever get nervous, especially at a young age? Like, was you ever nervous? Because I feel like kids don't. But also, I just feel like having gone across the pond, I don't know, but I feel like American kids are very confident. Yeah. Like, they're very confident kids at such a young age.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't think I started actually getting nervous until I understood the reality of the situation I wouldn't say my first memory of like being nervous, if I'm thinking in my head, was probably like 10 or 11. But that was also the first time I ever had like experienced doubt or anything. Like I had done Ravensholm for 6 years. I booked it when I was like 11. But before Ravensholm, I had tested for this other popular show in America called The Shy. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
No.
Yeah, it's called The Shy. And then there was another.
Oh, The Shy. Yes, yeah, I have heard of that. Sorry.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I tested.
But that's a lot different from.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's like a drama based in Chicago.
Very different.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I had also tested for a few other Disney shows around that time. And like I worked super hard, especially on The Shy, even though that's not really my genre, but I had worked super hard. I was praying. I was like, Lord, I'm going to be living in Chicago, yada, yada. I was cussing, that whoop-de-whoop. And I didn't get it. And that was like the first time I'd ever experienced like doubt. Cause I was like, wow, like I worked so hard, like for what? Like, and I remember being 10. Me, my mom, and my little sister, we're eating out of our trunk. We living in a room, you know what I'm saying? So around 10, 11 is when I started to understand, okay, the financial burden of it all. Like my dad was, because my dad didn't really come to LA with us a lot, but for a time he was in LA with me, and he let me know, like, yeah, son, like this costs money. Yada, yada. My dad was keeping it real with my mom, just like, son, just, you know what I'm saying, worry about work, just worry about trying to get somewhere.
Of course.
And my dad, he just kept it real with me in terms of what everything was. But that was the first time I'd ever experienced doubt. And I was very like, I don't know, I cried a little bit over that project and it made me feel some type of way. And then 6 months before I had even tested for the Shy, I got the first call for Raven's Home. It wasn't anything. It was just called Untitled Raven Project.
Yeah.
And then 6 months after, I just lost the Shy. And they come back, they like, we're about to start testing for this project you auditioned for 6 months ago. And that's when I went in with such, like, I had tons of friends there. People that I knew from the industry, because I had been living in LA for like 5 years at this point. I had tons of friends. I had a lot of people test and audition. I didn't speak to anyone. I walked into the room. We walked into the room. Everybody, at this point, we're still auditioning together. There's no self-tapes. So everyone is in the room. We all lock eyes with each other. I look at everybody. I'm 10. My mom is not telling me not to speak. I'm like... Because in my mind, I'm like, listen, it's not even that y'all are my competition. It's that I'm not going to let y'all distract me in this moment. I'm not saying hi. I'm not speaking to y'all. I'm not acknowledging your presence. I'm locked in on what I was doing. And like, I think the doubt and the turmoil I had faced coming off the Shy made me just go 100% harder on Raven's Home, and thank the Lord that it did, because we did 6 seasons, 118 episodes. So I was truly blessed.
And that's crazy because you're from Detroit. So what was life like in Detroit and then going over to LA? My own experience of like going over to LA, the first thing I thought when I was in LA, I was like, this looks like Grand Theft Auto. That was the first thing I ever said.
What?
Grand Theft Auto.
What's that?
Grand Theft Auto. GTA.
Oh.
I said to myself,
I thought you said Grand Theft Woo. I was like, what is that?
I was about to say, oh my God, am I that old?
No, Grand Theft Auto, I got you.
2 different generations, clearly. You was like, Grand Theft, what the fuck?
No. GTA, that's our generation.
Yeah.
Generation. We share that.
I said, oh, phew, I'm not as old as I thought I was. But the fact was like, I literally landed and I was like, this looks like GTA San Andreas. That was the first thought in my head. But what was it like for you going? Because I've been to Michigan. I've been to the what's it called? The university?
U of M.
Yeah, that kind of area.
Okay.
And for me, even when we were driving in, so we had drove from Chicago, and when we drove that, like even going from Chicago to...
Where are you from? You're from here.
So I'm from here.
But what part?
Yeah. So I'm from South London.
Got you.
Yeah. So I'm from South London. But like, I'll be honest, in terms of even going to America, it's mainly the East Coast and the West Coast that I've only ever been to. But like when I was in Michigan, it was that area, massive student, population that are there for university and stuff. And I guess my only other perception of Detroit was probably from 8 Mile and Eminem. Do you know what I mean? That was probably from an outsider. So what was life like for you, like from that to then going to like LA?
Yeah. I don't know. I grew up on 8 Mile and Gratiot, and I lived on Collingham, which is like, if you know Detroit, Collingham is like 3-4 blocks over from 8 Mile. So that's, and my mom kind of owned a business right on 8 Mile and Gratiot, it was a daycare center, which is where I grew up going to school and stuff. But I never knew I lived in like the hood, so to speak. Like my mom and my dad was both there. It like, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you hear shootings and stuff, you see abandoned buildings and stuff, but it wasn't ever really registering to me that I wasn't in a good area. I just like, this is just my home, so I never really noticed that I wasn't in a nice part of town. But when I came to LA, it was just like, I don't want to say it was a culture shock, but like, it was a culture shock in the sense of like, the libraries was a lot cleaner. Like it was like I don't know how to explain. We didn't really have we had one library in Detroit that I could think of that I don't know, it was kind of a little bit ghetto. The parks was a little bit nicer in California. I noticed that, and then my agency was in Beverly Hills. So, and then when I first came, I was going to a lot of different agencies auditioning, trying to get signed.
Who's your agency?
Right now, I'm with CESD.
Oh, okay.
But see, I used to be before they shut down. I used to be with Abrams, which was A3.
Oh, okay.
And then before that, I was with a couple. I actually been with Abrams my whole career. But before I signed with Abrams, I tried to go an audition for this other one called Paradigm or something. I can't really remember. But it was just all these really nice, luxurious buildings that I was like, okay, like this is what it is. Like this is LA. And that kind of is what it was. But the culture shock for me became when I got back. Because at some point, like I would do 3 months in LA, 9 months in Detroit. But every year I just was working more and more, so my time started to be less and less. So I went from 3 to 9 to 4 to 6 to 5 to or however many 5 to 7 to 6 and 6 to now I'm spending more time in LA than I am in Detroit just because of my work schedule. And I went back to Detroit and spent a lot of time during COVID, which I was like 15. And that's when the real culture shock hit me going back to Detroit. Cause I'm like, oh man, like my cousin was older doing grown stuff. I had to get it. My mom made me get a summer job when I was in Detroit.
Oh, yeah. What was your summer job?
I worked at a car wash.
Oh, nice.
I worked at a car wash.
That's a good summer job though.
It is a good summer job.
I think that's all right, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I was making a nice $7.50 an hour, you
Decent,
know.
man.
It was a little bit below what I was used to making. I saved up like $1,000, took my mom and dad out to eat, bought groceries for the house and stuff. And just that, but yeah, that was my real culture shock. Like, coming back, experiencing life without this, I don't know, this allure to it. It was just normal life, like having to go shopping, having to take out the trash, do my... Because when I'm in LA, we were living out of a room. So it's like whatever trash we had, we literally probably took it to set. Whatever food we would eat, we got it off set, yada, yada. And then I was at work most of the time, and then I go home for a couple hours, lay down, go back to work. So I would say that's when my real culture shock came, going back to Detroit.
Was the weather different as well?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the minute you're in LA, any time of the year, you see sunshine. And then you realize when you're in America, I think what I realized is going to America at different times of the year, and I'm like, oh, it's not as sunny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I miss the cold though. I do miss the sea. In LA, we get rain instead of snow. Because in Detroit, you would get snow probably from late October to they said, my grandma said it ain't no snow in there right now. I just talked to her the other day. But you'll probably get snow from October to February. Early of February, or top of February, but my grandma said she ain't got no snow, so I might be lying too.
Yeah.
Even though it is March. But I don't know, I do miss the snow. And LA is just always hot year round. I love it, and I have a pool now, so it's like I get to go swimming all the time, but I miss the change in the seasons. I like the heat, and then the fall, and then the snow, and
of course.
But you know.
So how did Raven's House change your life? Because you got an Emmy nomination from that as well. And then you kind of talked about as one of the next generation of stars, to come through. You look at the alumni of Disney that have come from Disney, and it's crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how did that start to change your life a little bit?
Raven's Home certainly changed my life, man. I just gotta thank God and thank Raven Simone and thank everyone involved with that project, man. Jed and Scott and everyone who took a chance on me at 11, because I had never done multicam before. I'd done one multicam project, which was Sam and Cat, and I did that when I was 6 or 7. But I hadn't come back to multicam, and I wasn't really good. I wasn't really good at it. And when I was a good actor, but I wasn't a good multicam performer in the sense of 4 cameras, knowing how to turn my body. I was used to having a microphone or a lavalier or something. No mics, everything is boom, so you have to project your voice. So, but it's hard to do that and stay sounding natural, so that you sound within your character and stay grounded.
Is there an audience there as well?
Live audience as well on Fridays, so you had to be on top of your game.
How does that? increase the pressure of having a live audience there? Does it feel like, because I guess the comparisons I would have it must feel like a bit like theatre in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Our fans never really made us feel too pressured, and the dope part is like they would laugh at us making a mistake.
Okay.
So like if we'd come in, now I just think because of how Raven is as a person, we would already kind of be locked. We had rehearsed so much that it didn't matter who was in the crowd. We was kind of all on our P's and Q's, energy, like delivery and all that stuff. But like if we did, let's just say, one scene, the very first opening, we come in, somebody forget their line, we go, ah, and we forget, the audience will laugh, and we just start it over and take it in from the top. But I would say Raven Song changed my life in so many different ways, but I grew up on that show, went through puberty on that show, like kind of became a man on that show. I changed, like I had to grow with Booker in the sense of that when I was like 14, 15, my jokes weren't landing because I looked different and was built different, and I had to do things in a different way and grow my character up so that he was still sort of believable. And then in the final couple seasons 5 and 6, I got the opportunity to kind of play quarterback. And like we had new castmates come on and kids that were a little bit younger than me, so I could finally get to share some of my wisdom and share what I had learned over the years. So yeah. And then Raven's Home also taught me how to kind of deal with stardom in a sense. Like I don't want to sound braggadocious or anything like that, but
no, you're a star, bro. You're a big man.
Thank you.
Nah, bro, of course, man.
But I just mean like in the sense of like if we go to a school or something, we'd all go to schools, like a couple of Disney kids, and then you get bombarded and they want to take pictures, or they'd be like, sign my forehead or my phone case or whatever. And like when I was younger, like I didn't really understand it, but like, you know what I'm saying, you grow up and after having conversations with Raven, yada yada, you just understand that, especially with TV stars, when people see you in their homes every day, they feel like they know you. And obviously you don't owe anybody that access to you. But when you get put in such a blessed position, you want to make sure that you are grateful for your gift and you're not taking nothing for granted.
Of course.
And that you give everybody that time that they deserve, because I remember when that was me. Yeah. I remember when I was begging folks for pictures, and man, if I could have got Chris Brown or somebody to sign my photograph, or Cameron Boyce or Trevor Jackson or one of these Disney stars, I would have lost my mind. So I think about that a lot, and I give a lot of reverence to that. And shout out to Raven for showing us the way to handle that as well.
Because I couldn't imagine how hard it would have been, but also with the likes of social media as well. Yeah. Like, you're on the forefront of TV and entertainment, and you're in an iconic show, but then you also have social media in the background as well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? How did that kind of start playing a part in your life? Because I guess you're getting people message you from all around the world being like, oh my God, we love you on this, or we love you on that.
Yeah, it was such a weird thing, the transition to social media era for us. Because it happened kind of right as well, I'm not going to say that. There were always streamers and stuff, and YouTube was already huge. But like by 2017, which is when our show came out, they was basically telling us like, you're not allowed, 13-year-olds are not allowed to run their own Instagram account. But we need you to have an Instagram account. Yeah. And I was like, so how am I supposed to, like, you can have your parents run it, you can do whatever, yada, yada. But it was a weird thing. And then like, just what we were allowed to post having to still be within the Disney frame, and we were representing something, don't go on there doing too much, yada, yada. It was a weird thing for me, but my mom just ran it for me. And I only worried about work. Yeah, I never was on, like, my little sister was DMing people off of my Instagram. She would go on my mom's phone while I'm working and DM people from my account, and those people would come to a live show.
I swear.
On everything I love. Random people. My girlfriend of like 2 or 3 years, we're not together anymore, but my little sister, the way we met is my little sister DM'd her from my page, hey, you should come to Raven's Home, yada, yada, yada. Oh, and wow. She just came to the show. Yeah. And we met. And I was like, how you just can't keep, I'm talking to my mom like, you got to be in here watching her.
That's a perfect, that's a good wing woman. Yeah. Right there. 100%.
Oh, yeah, no, W, I appreciate her. But, yeah, that was, I never really worried about social media and stuff when I didn't really get on social media until I was like 15, to be honest, 15, 16. Like I said, when I came back home to Detroit, and I I created a spam account, and I just had a little bit of extra time on my hands. I was like, okay, well, let me just start posting, and I did, and then that happened from there. But like I said, I did the show until I was 18. So those last 3 years, I definitely did have social media. And the main thing for me to worry about was just, you were representing a brand, representing a iconic thing that had already stood for so long. And as long as you're on Disney Channel or whatever, you're going to have to adhere to what is going on. And you know that when you sign on.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when people are like, well, I never said I wasn't going to. You kind of know what it is when you sign with Disney. You understand what you're getting into. I hate when people act like you know exactly what it is.
Disney,
they line it out for you. They tell you it's all. They give you a crap disc called Disney 101. I'm not joking. It's called Disney 101. They put their actors and their kids and usually the lead castmates into this program where you go and you sit for about 5 or 6 hours. You talk to all the heads of the label, all the heads of the channel. You talk to everyone. You take notes. They give you. What is it called? They give you sexual harassment training, whatchamacallit training, which, like, shout out to my castmates because they never made me feel bad, but I'm pretty sure the reason we had so much of that was because of me. We had 3 or 4 of those classes a year, and it's just because my mouth was so bad.
So these classes, essentially, they are to kind of guide you as you get older to, like, I guess it's almost like HR a little bit, human resources. And like, this is how you need to lead your life.
Yes.
This is how your life will change. These are the protocols we have here. Oh, wow.
And they also, and a big part of that was not posting where you were. In that moment, they say you're not supposed to post until you've been gone for a day or whatever, because so many Disney stars, they've been tracked down.
Is it?
Yeah, you're not supposed to post where you are until after you leave that place.
Oh my gosh.
So anytime we would go to Disney World or Disneyland or yada yada, we would post like a picture maybe of a Disney building that you would obviously know is at Disney World.
Yeah.
But never your hotel, never your whatchamacallit, none of that until you leave.
Oh, wow.
So that people don't follow you or do nothing. Yeah. That happens.
Did you get to go there for free, like with all the passes? Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because they got the key.
Bro, I missed the passes, boy. Disney. Hey, if y'all got some extra ones, y'all can throw them my way again.
Because when you get that, there's like, because I've experienced it with Universal Studios. Shout out British Airways Holidays.
Shout out.
They took me to Universal Studios, and there's the passes you buy, so you can skip, but then there's the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brother, let me tell you a story. My very first trip to Disney World in Florida.
Yeah.
I was promoting this hotel. I think it was called the Grand Floridian, or maybe it was another hotel, but I was staying at the Grand Floridian. They had me. It was just me, my mom, and like I want to say, I don't even think my dad was there. Maybe he was. I can't remember. But my very first experience there, I had a room on the top floor. I had 2 different rooms. Both rooms had a jacuzzi in the rooms. My mom never came. I barely saw my mom on this work trip. I barely saw my mom. It was me and my little sister on this side. My mom on that side. I would come in like, Mom, we about to go downstairs, or we about to go get some Mickey Mouse waffles or whatever the case. And then, like, once I found out that was what my experience was going to be like, every time I got called to Disney World, I called my whole family.
Oh, yeah.
I called my whole family.
And everybody, you all got passes.
10, 11, 12 different people. And now, mind you do need to tip if you do have a tour guide, tip your tour guide, especially if you're putting a lot on him, because it's a crazy job. But I had about 12, 13 people with me, all 4 parks. Everywhere, inside and out, back, out, nada. My guy, like, he waiting on me at the end. He like, you want to ride it again? I'm like, Ma, you want to ride? I'm like, cuz, you want to ride it again? I'm like, come on, we ride this bit again. Like, so, yeah, man, shout out Disney. That was incredible.
Hey, those passes are, it's a different world, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy because people start looking at you. They're like, who
is that?
Who's that? Yeah. But you got to not look, or you're like,
yeah. You don't want them to feel like, yeah.
Who you talking about me? I don't know. Yeah, let's go on it one more time.
And then it's awkward because sometimes my guy would just take me straight. Well, most times my guy would just take me through the exit and walk that way.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to go around and wait, and so they sitting looking at you like going like.
And there's people that are like at the back, and then you got people that have paid for like the queue pass jump, which is sometimes there's still a queue there.
Yes.
But then it's the fact that you go through the back of the ride,
through
the exit to the front. I said, Me and my friend kept looking at each other like, hey, bro, I feel bad, but I feel
But
good.
I love it. But I love it. And you know what? You know what, brother? Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad either. Because I wish everybody could experience that.
Yeah.
I wish everybody could experience that. Like, it's incredible. And then, like, he also, my tour guide, when I was there, he had a car. And I think, like, not the very first time I went, but maybe the second or third time I went, because I told you I brought a lot of my family, my cousins, my aunties, my grandma.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, we had 2 cars riding around, like 2 black SUVs.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
So we go.
They say like Disney World or something on there. Yeah.
So you go, and you pop out, and then I go get my granny and my mama. I felt like the man.
How did you feel like when you got cast in Blackish? Because that's an iconic show, man, with some amazing actors. Was there anyone that you kind of you learnt from when, you know, on that? Because I guess it's such a juxtaposition from, you know, being on Raven's house.
Yeah. I actually, funny enough, me and Raven were both on Blackish, like around the same time as I was being cast.
Yeah.
So, like, one day, I think maybe season 2 or 3 of Blackish, I'm walking out of my trailer and I see her walk by, and I'm like, Raven! And she's like, hey, little bro. And she give me the dap, whatever. And then, like, I go to the wardrobe lady who I had known for about 2-3 years at this point. She's like, Raven Simone was just in here asking about you. I was like, what you mean? She was asking, like, what are you like as a person? Do you hang up your clothes? Because this is wardrobe. And some actors, they just toss their clothes to the side. I always hung. I didn't even know that it was a thing. But my mom just would tell me, son, don't just leave your clothes everywhere. Hang them back up.
Yeah, man.
So my natural instinct was just to hang up clothes, and I guess that was a good thing for her. But I learned a lot from Anthony Anderson. Learned a lot from just watching some of the. I learned more set etiquette than anything on Blackish. I didn't get the chance to speak with a lot of folks because of my role on the show at that time. I was a reoccurring star, if anything. Like, it wasn't really, but I got time to figure out, like, okay, this is how actors carry themselves in this setting. If you're not on set, you're quiet, you're reading your lines, you're doing this. When you're in hair and makeup, have your script in there, going over your dialogue, yada yada yada. And those are just things that I noticed from watching,
of course.
watching other people. So shout out Blackish, but I actually like, and I hate when actors bring up like tests and stuff, but I'm just gonna bring it up because we in here talking about it. I did test for Blackish. Me and the girl who played my twin sister on Raven's Home, we tested for the twins on Blackish against the two twins who got it, which is crazy. Like, all of this stuff was so crazy to me. And when I went in and I tested, they kept trying to pull me back. They kept like you're funny, just give us a little less. Like, this is good, just tone it down a little. And I didn't understand what that meant. Of course. I was like, how old were we around that time? Like 8, 9, 10 maybe? So I was like, I'm doing good. Like, as long as they keep laughing at my jokes, as long as I'm doing funny stuff, like, it's going to be good.
And that's hard in the room as well.
And you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know
in the room, 100%.
You don't know. So that's something, Blackish taught me a multitude of lessons, but more so small things like that, industry stuff, like how to pull back, what to do on set etiquette, where crafties is and stuff like that. And but yeah, super grateful for that experience. Incredible crew over there. They had such a well-oiled machine. Like, I remember the first season we was there, like, sometimes it would be a little bit of a delay before I would go on, or sometimes they would hold me a little bit after because they didn't know. By season 2 or 3, call time, you're there. Whatchamacallit, you back. School for 3 hours, and you're done. They had it all down to the wire. So shout out to those guys over there on Blackish.
Oh, that must have been an amazing experience.
It was.
How do you find voice acting? Because you've got some really big credits as a voice actor as well.
Thank you. I love it. Loved it, but still love it. It's hard to stay consistent with voiceovers.
How long would you say you were in the booth for sometimes? Because I've done an animated film called 10 Lives a few years ago. And the fact that what I couldn't comprehend is I'd have to do the VO first, and then the visual effects have to do their thing after. So they're waiting on how I'm saying it, my expressions as they're filming me.
Because did you do motion capture?
Yeah. So they're doing all that stuff, but then realizing you're like, oh, so this doesn't start until I start. But I have to... and I'm talking like in your head, you're like, I'm just saying words.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've been in a position where they're like, cool, we need your character to sound like he's running, but he's also telling this joke, and you're like, you're on the spot.
What's that?
I was fighting for my life. They said to me, yeah, you're, because it was a cat who has a bunch of lives. And every life he changes to another character,
Personality.
to another creature. Yeah. So they're like, now you got to imagine that the cat has changed into a rat and he's gone up a drain pipe, bro. You've never seen your life flash before your eyes so quick. While you're in this booth, you're like, and they're like, great, it's just a bit more.
Yeah, give us more efforts.
And I'm like sitting there, it's like, hey, my life, I'm stressing out right now. How is it for you? Because you've been in things like Family Guy and stuff like this as well.
Mm-hmm.
How is moments like? Is there like a part of you that when you sit in that booth and you're like, oh, it's Family Guy. Like I really want to execute this, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Golly. For Family Guy, it was super interesting because, like I said, another well-oiled machine. Another well-oiled machine. Family Guy was super dope. The director had, like, I think his kids were a fan of Puppy Dog Pals, which is a show I had done when I was younger. And so he was just looking for that kind of, I played Stewie's best friend in an episode. And so for me, I figured it was pretty much just trying to like make him realistic enough to where Stewie wants to be his friend and keep it in that vein of like child innocence or whatever. It was a little hard though, because in the episode they had to do a lot of choking. Like they kept putting toys in their mouth and like choking. So I remember that being an issue for me.
Did you have to do that where you got to put like, I
didn't have to put anything physically in my mouth, but just
the sounds and stuff in it.
Yeah.
And just, like, all right, great. We can just go one more. Allow it, man. We got the take.
But yeah, I would say like if we're talking about like an animated like kid show, like because I did a lot of animated kid shows. The real difficulty for me was like, and I mean, depending on how deep you are into the thing, like if you're a lead or if you're this or if you're that, they'll let you go to the animation studio. They'll let you go and see the drafts and they'll let you see the artwork and yada yada. And that's what I got to experience on that first season of Puppy Dog Pals. It was like I got to go in there and see what my character was going to look like. I got to see how he was going to move. I got to see his facial expressions. And for me, that helped add a little bit more authenticity to him. Just because I already kind of figured. And he always, every picture they showed me of him, he was super like, he was always standing in this pose of like, let's go. And it felt like he was like my brother, he was the goofy one, always kind of had that expression on his face. So it was easy for me to add a little bit more authenticity. I hate to say that again, but easier to add a little more authenticity to him after knowing what he was going to look like and seeing him and everything like that.
What do you think's harder in terms of voice acting or like on screen? Like what do you think the thing is that makes you go, whew, I'm working right now?
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story, man. One time my mom left me in California with like my older cousin, because I don't know if it was something going on with my grandma or whatever the case may be. But I was in California with just my older cousin and my older sister, but they weren't real disciplinarians, you know? And at this point in time, I was doing Raven's Home throughout the week. So you do Monday table read, Tuesday rehearsal, Wednesday network run through, Thursday you film, Friday you do live audience. And then I would do, but mind you, you do 3 hours of school. And then I was also on 3 different voiceover shows. So Monday, after we do table read, I do my school. I would leave Raven's Home and go do Puppy Dog Pals on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays, I would go do this other show on Amazon. It was called Costume Quest. And then this was only for like 1 season, by the way, that I had all this this ridiculous workload. And then at some point, I was doing this other show called Stinky and Dirty. In between all of that. And I don't know if it was, what is it called? You know the Disney movie with the elephant with the big ears? What is that called? Dumbo?
Oh, yeah, Dumbo, yeah.
Dumbo. So they were, at the time, Disney would invite all of their casts to their original movies. So if they did a Dumbo or The Lion King, Beyonce kissed me, by the way. I went to the Lion King premiere and she kissed me right on my cheek. I will never forget that. It was the greatest moment of my life.
Don't tell Jay-Z, boy.
No. Please. But But this particular, I want to say Sunday or Monday, it was the Dumbo premiere. And I knew I had work all this next week. I knew what I had to do. But my castmates were all there, and everyone I knew was all there. So I slept through the movie in the front row. We all in the front row. It was so bad. Like, what's his name? What's this? He's Danny DeVito's like a couple seats over from me. He like seeing me fall asleep during this movie. And then I got up and I went to the after party and I stayed for like 2 hours. And I mean, just chocolate fondue, yelling, a dance floor, pizza, all the horribles. Like, my cousin was there, my older cousin. She's from Detroit. She like, oh yeah, we at the after party. You know what I'm saying? She's taking pictures with everybody she sees. I'm like, you not ready to go home yet? She's like, no, go ahead. I'm like, oh, bet. I go to work. Mind you, I by the end of the night, I end up seeing all my castmates leave. I see Jason leave. I see Navia leave. I see Sky leave. I see all my castmates leave, but I'm still there. I go to work this next morning. I'm trying not to speak during table read because my voice is shot. I'm trying not to yell during rehearsal because I'm like, I know later today I have 2 episodes and 2 songs to do. And I go to record this Monday. And I'm in there and I'm trying to do, like, they say my voice sounds so bad I can't do any dialogue. They're like, we can't get any dialogue off you today. Let's just try to get a song or 2 done. And I went to go do a song and all I remember is going, ah! And I cried. I had never cried during a work session before or anything like that. And I broke into tears and I like they called my mom. And I just remember I was like, Mom, I'm sorry, like I can't do it. It was I remember that day being very traumatizing for me. And then I got offered another voiceover project after called Chicken Squad. And they had got picked up. Now, voiceovers are very lucrative in the sense of they usually get picked up for multiple episodes. So if you do one show, that's 26 episodes a season. Yeah. At the end of the day, you're getting paid 26. So my mom was not into turning down money. So I had got offered a whole nother show, 26 episodes already picked up. My mom like, yeah. But the casting director, she had worked with me on that other show where she saw me cry. Okay. And she was like, ask him. She was like, ask me if he wants to do it. And I was like, that was the first time in my life I'd ever turned down a job. I was like, no. And I haven't really done a voiceover that requires that much like that again since then. Just because it's a lot. Yeah. So I don't want to say voiceover is necessarily harder than regular acting, but it's a certain level of like, you have to have yourself prepared. You have to be to be able to go in there every week, bring something new to your character. And especially if you're like now with shows like Family Guy, it's a little bit different. You might not have to sing, you might not have to do that. So you just go in there and be yourself. But in a show to where you kind of got to play younger and appeal to a younger audience and deliver these messages, and yet you still need to go through stuff and sing. I don't know, man. I don't want to say voiceover is harder, but they neck and neck. It's not
a different discipline, right?
It depends on what it depends on what you're doing. In the same way in acting, you have to go through and go each of your lines and write your intention. Same thing goes for voiceover, especially if you're doing multiple different shows or multiple different characters. So I'll leave that up for the audience to interpret. But I had my fair share of run-ins with both of them.
Speaking of the voice, you're now singing, and like, that's such a different position, I guess, to be in now from, I guess, where you are front and center of performing, which is a little bit different of being on screen or being a voice actor. How is this newfound thing that you do, how is this kind of changing your life in some ways?
I'm getting my life changed again, man. This is a whole different world. Yeah. It's a whole different world. And with the music game, it's a little bit different because, like, with acting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have my credits to where, like, people can go and you can look and see stuff. But with music, it's like people don't really care about what you did in the acting game. They don't really care about none of that stuff. Like, obviously, if you have a name that's recognizable, they go, okay, that's cool. Yeah. But ain't nobody really, you're not getting any free passes in the music game. And no one's playing your song or anything like that because you were on TV.
Do you feel like you had to reset a little bit as a musician? Like, you have to feel like you got to start all over again in some ways?
Yeah, mentally and physically. Like, it was a brand new, now, so sometimes, like, if I'm doing a Stairmaster, or if I'm taking my dogs for a walk, or if I'm doing jump ropes or whatever it may be, I'm trying to sing now. I'm trying to do scales. As you're jump roping, as you're doing stair work, just to kind of get your body prepared to do things that I haven't ever had to do consistently. Like, obviously, I've been performing my whole life.
Yeah.
But to get yourself ready and physically prepared to go out there and give these people a show and perform, because I don't want to just stand up there and sing. You want to dance too. You want to you want to entertain. So you got right.
I see the move, man. You try to do it like it was nothing.
Yeah. So you got to have yourself mentally and physically prepared, and that's a journey that I'm very excited to take myself on, and a challenge that I'm very excited to continue to pursue, because it's not just like, you can't just wake up one day and be tour ready. You have to perform like that all the time, or get yourself in a physical capability and a mental capability to be able to do that. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. Everybody, make sure y'all look forward for Lipstick. It comes out March 20th, and this might be out by the time so if it's already out, make sure y'all check it out. But yeah, that's definitely what my mind is at.
Isaac, you're in a place now where you are, you're performing. You're like a celebrity ambassador for brands. You go like you're doing so much as a performer, where like you do animation. You're a hustler, so you easily clean cars and stuff. And do you know what I mean? Because there are some people that will say, well, I don't want to do that because I've done this and I've lived in LA, and like you're saying, like you have a life that you've carved out for yourself that's very lucrative, but also there's a part of you that sits there and says, well, I kind of see where I want my career to go. And you're still not to patronize you, but you're still so young as well, but you're also really mature at the same time. Like, you have an idea of what you want, which when I think of what I was like at 20, I was like, well, I'm just trying to get some gal,
Yes, sir.
Trying to whine on some gal still. But like, you haven't, it's the truth, bro. Like, I was like, yeah, I hear that, but where the girls at, bro?
Yeah.
So like, but now you're at an age where like you're 20, right?
Yeah.
When will you be 21?
July.
So you'll be 21 in July, and you've achieved so much in like 20 years, which, some of the things, like, even you're telling me and what I was researching, I'm just like, wow. So where do you see like the kind of next chapter? Is it, because I don't know whether you see this, but I don't know why I see you like hosting your own almost like late night show, because you seem like you can do a bit of everything in some ways. You can dance, you can sing, you can present, you can do a lot of stuff, if that makes sense. So where do you see like yourself carving out that next thing for yourself?
I always saw myself kind of going down the host lane, which is weird. Like, nothing much really came from it, but I did do, there was this thing that they had on Disney, it was called Quizney. And it was like, they call in different kids, yada yada, and have them do things, and like, you just do questions. And it started off as like an online thing. And then I got to the show, and then we did it for like 3 months. And then they were like, well, we're going to make it like a show, like a live action show. And then we did it in a studio one time, and it was a green screen. It was even bigger. And then they was like, well, we're going to make it a real show this time with their actual, but so then they put it on a sound stage with these huge sets and flew in these families and yada yada. And I was like, this is it. I'm like, I'm about to be a host. Like,
yeah.
And then what happened was, a lot of the challenges in the show, people had to touch a block and give it to them. Like, 3 of our fundamental shows involved the contestants touching each other and whatchamacalliting. And guess what year we started filming that show?
Oh,
2020.
Oh.
And it got shut down immediately. So then I did this other show in 21 called The Magic Bake Off, where I was hosting with this other girl named Dara Renee. Shout out Dara. She's killing it.
Bake Off is huge.
Yeah. Shout out to Dara. She's killing the game right now. She just got nominated for an Emmy. I don't know if she won or not, but shout out to Dara, because she's doing fantastic things as well. But I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity to be a host again. And so I don't know if hosting is in my cards, because we did one season of that show, but I don't know if hosting is in my cards. I definitely tried it. I would love to do it again. I would love to, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Like you said, I do feel like I have a little bit of that. I can make things flow. Just like if we're here, if there's an awkward subject and we don't know what's on the prompter, yada, yada, I feel like I'm very good at filling in the blanks, yada, yada, keeping people entertained. But for right now, my focus is definitely on my music. That's where the majority of my mental focus has been, and where I'm just going to continue to put it, because I just want to do one thing at a time. Not that I want to be put in a box, but I want to make sure whatever I'm giving has 100% of my focus and 100% of my concentration. Like, people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know about that. I'm like, that's for y'all. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'm giving 100% of my energy to that thing until, you know what I'm saying? Like, until God shows me or tells me that's not for you, I'm going to give everything I have to my music, or I'm going to give 100% of whatever it is to that thing. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, keep a lookout for the music. We're on the charts right now. We're number one on iTunes.
Because, bro, that's huge, man. To be charting in the UK, like, you know, and other countries around the world, that is absolutely, that's massive. You know what I mean? That's like a huge success. So, like, who are some of the, like, musicians that you look up to? Because I know you sung Michael Jackson at such a young age as well. Yeah. You know, I know you mentioned Chris Brown as well. Are there, like, musicians you sit there and you're like, yeah, it's not to say that's the person I want to be, but that's, do you know what I mean? That's someone that I idolize.
Yeah, I mean, definitely people that I draw inspiration from. Like, if we're talking about my personal favorite artist as a kid, that was Usher. That's what I watched him.
Come on, bruv.
I watched him. I watched all of his shows. I used to study his one night, one star only show in Puerto Rico or whatever it was. I'm like, Jesus, he was in such great shape, great. And I don't even mean like his abs and stuff. He was ripped, sure. But when I mean shape, I mean like he could get out there and sing for hours while dancing without stopping. I'm like, so Usher was my guy.
Did you see his newest show? The show last year? The one he was touring around the world.
Oh, no, I didn't see the one he tried, but I did get a chance to go to his Vegas residency.
Oh, you went there? Yeah. So it's same show. So I think it's the same show down here where he's on rollerblades and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, my God, sensational. I see it in Paris. Bro, I screamed.
Oh, I did too. Shout out Miss Wendy Raquel Robinson, because I did a play for Amazing Grace Conservatory like 3 years ago. It was called Pinot. Like, the character of the show, his name was Pino, and he just was a performer, super into that. And she literally sent me to Vegas. She bought my ticket, my plane ticket, my hotel room, and my ticket to his show. She's like, go watch him perform and come back with that attitude. Like, come back with that. And I was like, man, like, thank you. Like, I appreciate this so much.
How she get me some tickets, bro?
Wendy Raquel Robinson. You probably know her.
Hey, Wendy, please. Maybe listening, Wendy. Come on, Wendy.
Yeah, she's
Share
a legend.
their wealth, man.
She's a legend. But yeah, I don't know. I would say if we're talking about modern day, I'm looking at guys like Leon Thomas. I'm looking at guys like, listening for it. There's not really anyone I watch nowadays, like, to where I'm looking like to see if I can perform like them. I mean, because no one's really doing that much stuff anymore. Like, performance-wise, I mean, dancing-wise, not with the men. I don't really see anyone really, like, killing it. Chris Brown, obviously, still. Usher, still. But, like, you know, this new generation, I feel like we're looking for someone to come in and reinvigorate us performing-wise. And I want to help be a part of that generation. I want to help bring in the new wave of artists giving energy on stage and coming and doing that. But as far as musically, I'm looking at guys like Kenyon Dixon, guys like, God, I'm trying to think, Lucky Day. I'm thinking about,
Is there any artists that you really want to work with as well? Because I could imagine there must be people you're like, I love that sound.
Oh, man, Leon Thomas. He's at the top of my list right now because I've been listening and watching him for a while, like just watching his progression from a Nickelodeon star to coming back to this music place, and I'm like, his sound is so unique and so different, and I watch a lot of videos about him where he's talking about messing with, like, adjusting his vocals and making it so that it's like half a point up or half a point down, so where you can't tell. It's like, but it's something. Even on this, what's his record? And she said, "Take your time. What's the rush?" He manipulated his vocals so that it sounds bigger on the, like, it's little slight things that he does on the technical side that I would love to pick his brain about.
Man just hit us with some notes there, you know? Like it was nothing. That's how I feel like I sound when I'm in the shower. And I'm like, yeah, let me not sing anymore.
That is what I do in the shower. Just sing, man. It's terrible.
Now, just before we go, like, what would you say your most important lesson in staying grounded and having a childhood when you was famous at 6 years old is? Like, because you've had a really like amazing career that we've all been able to see. We can map out, where some people have seen you for the first time to, you being a teenager and now, in your 20s. Like, but going back to that 6-year-old, what do you think the most important lesson in staying grounded was for you that's helped your success?
The most important lesson for me in staying grounded, I didn't really have a battle with my humility until I turned about 13, 14. Until I started noticing that people were doing things because I was a celebrity, quote unquote, or because I was on Disney Channel. That's when I started kind of having that arrogant attitude of like, if you just gonna be around and take a picture of me, don't even come around. If you just gonna be doing this, like, I'll give you an example. My mom loved going to this bar in Burbank where it was kids. It was like a children's bar, but the adults obviously could go and have a margarita or whatever. Yeah. And we do karaoke at night. And that was my little sister's chance, because we were both homeschooled. That was my little sister's chance to socialize with, other children and like just have a good time. And for me, I didn't really enjoy going because all the kids there were trying to break into the industry. So they would always kind of take pictures with me, or their parents would talk to me, yada, yada. And it was just a little annoying. And I was like, they only want to talk to me because I am this, and the third. But my mom made a constant effort to remind me that, like, son, like, I understand you might not want the attention or whatever the case may be, but you have to remain humble and remember that could be you. That was you. 4 years, like you wasn't always on TV, son. You wasn't always, you know what I'm saying? You was that person looking for someone to help you or talk to you or give you insider details about the industry. And I didn't understand it at the time. At 14, me and my mom butted heads a lot because once again, still living in a small room together. I'm going through puberty, maturing as a man. Her authority over me is waning a little because I'm sneaking out at nights, doing like just on my scooter, on the phone with my friends, not doing nothing bad, but just not listening to my mom.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I mean, she, like, her words remain true for me. Like, it's weird. They say you listen to stuff as you get older, you remember. And I remember when I turned 16, 17, I was talking to some kid on some show, and I was like, he's not humble. Like, he's not, like, I don't know if it was like a fan, I walked up to him or something. He was just like, oh, isn't that the worst? And I was like, I said in my head, like, like he forgot where he came. Like, I don't know. Like, just my mom's words started ringing true for me.
Resonating, man.
Yeah, they started resonating, and I just never wanted to be that type of person or that type of celebrity, quote unquote. I hate to say that word, but just. Yeah, so I give a big shout out to my mom and just my sisters and my father. My father, I give a lot of credit to, especially for bringing me back down to earth at home. Like, I didn't grow up a lot. Like, obviously my dad was always in my life, but like I said, from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's like 9 years where I spent majority of my time in LA working, trying to get at it. So when I went back at 15, and my dad had me picking up, I don't know if I can cuss, shit in the backyard, or had me bringing in the trash cans, or one time our basement flooded, like, because I guess my dog had went and messed with one of our release pipes, and the water wasn't going down or whatever. Me and my dad had to literally cut every piece of carpet out of squeeze all the water out and take him upstairs. That type of hard work and that labor. My dad like, what son, you too good to come down here and help me? Da, 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 da. Him saying little stuff like that. I was like, no, Dad, I'm not. Like, I want to help you. And I think that helped ground me and keep me humble. So I give a shout out to my father, give a shout out to my mother, but especially to the Lord up above, who all things is possible through him, could do nothing without the Lord. So I would say those are the 3 things that keep me most humble.
Oh, Isaac, man, it's been such a pleasure to have you here, man. And I know you're here for like 9 days, you're saying, right? You got a bunch of other press, you're performing here as well. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to see how your career, plays out from here on out, because there's so many things that you've already done, but I'm so intrigued to see where it's also going to amount to as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was saying. I can see you hosting your own like late night show, like an Arsenio Hall.
Oh, I
type
would
of vibe.
love to do
you
that.
know
I
what
used to
mean?
love the Arsenio Hall show, man.
Yeah. I see
Raven
it
made me watch that show.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I see you in that kind of vibe. No, as opposed to behind a desk and stuff, but I see you on a vibe of like, you know, someone who can perform. Do you know what I mean? But still present at the same time. So it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, and this is your beginning, middle, and end. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, my brother. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate it if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.